Hey everyone, this is Vikas for MOVFX, and in this tutorial I'm gonna show you guys how to create this type of simple looking slideshow animation using Blackmagic Fusion. So without any further ado, let's get started. Okay, so first of all we have to take a new composition, so go to file menu and click on new and take a new composition. After that, let's check our composition settings, so go to file menu again and click on preferences, and here is frame format. So this composition is 1920 into 1080 and 30 frame per second, so it's good for me. And then click on save. Now let's convert this composition into 180 frame, which is equal to 6 seconds, so put the value 180 and hit enter. After that, let's import an image file, so go to folder and this is our image. Let me tell you guys, this image is downloaded from pixabay.com and I have given a link in the description for this image. So download this image and drag and drop to the flow window. Now drag this image to the viewer and click on fit and click on window layout 1 for single view, and select this node and press F2 for rename and rename it to image. Okay. Now right click on flow window, go to arrange tool and check this box to turn on the grid snap. Okay. Now select this image and press shift plus a space bar for search box and search for crop. So this is our crop node, click on OK and drag it to the viewer. Now select this crop node and press shift plus a space bar again and search for lens distortion. So this is our lens distortion node, click on OK and drag it to the viewer. After that, go to frame 180 and here is lens distortion model, so expand this option and right click on distortion, click on animate and go to frame 0 and increase the value of this distortion like 1. Okay, now turn on high quality. Okay, it's looking nice. After that, go to frame 0 and select this lens distortion and take a transform by clicking on XF button here and drag it to the viewer, and rename this transform node by pressing F2 and rename it to image transform. Okay, now select this transform node and go to frame 180 and right click on size and click on animate and go to frame 0 and increase the value of this size like 1.5. Okay, after that select this transform node and go to tool menu and add a color corrector node, so go to color and here is color corrector and drag it to the viewer and double click on color corrector node and go to properties of this color corrector node and here is master RGB lift, so put the value minus 0.3 and hit enter. Okay, it's looking nice. And here is master RGB gamma, so decrease the value of this also like 0.9. After that, let's arrange this node, so drag this node like this. Okay, increase the size of this flow window and let's create a tile, so select this node and go to tool menu and here is flow option and click on underlay. Select this underlay and press Ctrl and deselect this node. Okay, and then right click on this and rename it to image underscore tile. Okay, now right click again and set a color of this tile like this and click on OK. Okay, now let's create a matte, so take a background node and rename this by pressing F2 and rename it to matte. Okay, now select this matte and add a rectangle tool, so select this matte and click on this rectangle box and rename this rectangle by pressing F2 and rename it to A_1. Okay, now let's change some setting of this rectangle, so select this one and go to frame 0 and here is height option, so increase the height of this rectangle like 2. Okay, and make this width value 0 and right click on width, click on animate and go to frame 180 and increase the width value like this. Okay, now go to frame 0 and right click on angle, click on animate and go to frame 180 and put the value 90 degree and hit enter. Now let's check this. Okay, it's looking nice. Now go to a spline window, press F4 on the keyboard and check this A1 and select these keyframes and press F for flatten and select these handle and create a curve something like this. Select this handle also and make the curve like this. Okay, that's good. Then uncheck this and click on flow and press F4. After that, let's add a dust particle file. So go to folder and this is our dust particle and I have given a link in the description for this dust particle. So download this and drag and drop to the flow window. Okay, now let's merge this dust particle. So take a merge node by clicking on merge button here. Double click on flow window and take a merge and connect this yellow point to output of this color corrector node and green point to this dust particle and drag this merge to the viewer and double click on merge button and here is apply mode and change normal to a screen. Okay, now let's create a text. So click on text plus button and drag it to the viewer and type a text whatever you want to type. So I'm typing slideshow. Okay, and increase the size of this text like 0.15. Okay, now change font style. So click on this and select any type of font style, but I am using Century Gothic. So click on this and change this bold to regular. Now go to frame 180 and click on transform tab and right click on character spacing and click on animate and go to frame 0 and increase the character spacing value like 2 and let's merge this text with our background. So take a merge node and connect this green point to this text and yellow point to this merge and drag it to the viewer. Okay, it's looking nice. Now take another merge and connect this yellow point to this matte and green point to this merge 2 and drag this to the viewer. Okay, so select this merge and go to operator option and change over to in and now check this. Okay, now let's create a border around this edge. So take a background node and rename it to border and hit enter. Okay, now pick a color white and click OK. Now merge this. So take a merge node and make this border background. So connect this yellow point to this and green point to this merge 3 and drag it to the viewer. Okay, now select this rectangle mask and press Ctrl C and paste it by pressing Ctrl V and connect this rectangle to this border. Okay, and rename this rectangle. So select this one and press F2 and rename it to A_2. Okay, now select this A1 rectangle and decrease the border width like minus 0.05. Minus 0.005. Okay, it's good. Now let's duplicate these nodes. So select these nodes and press Ctrl C and press Ctrl V. Okay, now select this rectangle and press F2 and rename it to B_1. Okay, now select this one, press F2 and rename it to B_2. Okay, now make another copy, Control V for paste, and now rename this also. So select this one and press F2 and rename it to C_1, and select this one and press F2 and rename it to C_2 and hit enter. Now let's add a color corrector node. So go to tool menu and go to color and take a color corrector node. Okay, now connect this color corrector to this merge. So connect this green point of this merge node to this color corrector node and yellow point to output of this color corrector node. Okay, and now take another color corrector. So go to tool menu, here is color, and click on color corrector node. Now connect this color corrector. So connect this green point to this and yellow point to output of this node. Okay, now let's create tile. So select this one and go to tool menu, and here is flow, click on underlay, press Ctrl and deselect these nodes, right click on this and rename it to layer 1, layer_1. Okay, right click again and set a color of this tile like this and click OK. Now select this one and go to tool menu, and here is flow, underlay, and press Ctrl and deselect these nodes, right click on this, click on rename and rename it to layer 2. Okay, right click again and set a color like this. Okay, last one. So select this and go to tool menu, and here is flow, click on underlay, press Ctrl and deselect these nodes and right click on this, click on rename and rename it to layer 3, layer_3 and hit enter. Right click again and set color like this, click on OK. Now let's merge these nodes. So take a merge node, okay, and connect this yellow point to output of this layer 3 and connect this green point to output of this layer 2 and double click on flow window and take another merge and connect this green point to layer 1 and yellow point to this and drag it to the viewer. Okay, now click on a spline window and press F4 on the keyboard for full screen and check this B1 and B2. Okay, and select all these keyframes and move it by 10 frame. So press shift and arrow key. Okay, now same thing for A1 and A2. So uncheck this B1 B2 and check A1 and A2 and select these keyframes and move all the keyframe on frame number 20. So press shift and arrow key 2 times and move it on frame number 20. Now uncheck this and go to flow window, press F4 and let's check this. So now it's looking something like this. Okay, now let's add shadow node. So press shift plus a space bar for search box and search for shadow. So this is our shadow node, click on OK and press shift and attach this shadow over here and drag it like this. Change some settings, so increase the softness value like 0.05 and copy this shadow node by pressing Ctrl C and paste it by pressing Ctrl V. Now press shift and drag it over here and attach like this. Okay, now paste this shadow node again and connect this by pressing shift Okay, now it's looking something like this. Okay, now select this color corrector and here is master saturation, so decrease the saturation value and make it 0. Okay, and now select this color corrector and increase the contrast value like 1.5. okay, it's looking nice. Now let's check this. Now press F4 on the keyboard for full screen and now take a merge node. So click on merge button and connect this yellow point to output of this color corrector node and place it over here. Press Alt and create a junction and place this junction over here. Now connect this green point to this and press F4. Now add a directional blur, so press Shift plus a space bar and search for directional blur. So this is our directional blur node. Click on OK and press Shift and attach before merge 7. Double click on this and increase the length value like 0.02. okay, it's good. Now select this directional blur and go to tool menu. Here is color and take a color corrector node. So double click on color corrector node and here is master saturation. So put the value minus 0.5. okay, and now create a aspect ratio. So click on BG button and rename it to black. Okay, and select this and add a rectangle mask and make this rectangle like this and take a merge node and connect this green point to this black and yellow point to this and drag it to the viewer and select this rectangle mask and click on invert. Okay, now one last thing, so go to a spline window, press F4 and click on this lens distortion and click on this option and select this keyframes. Press F on the keyboard and make curve something like this. Okay, now uncheck this and check this image transform. Click on this option, select these keyframes and press F on the keyboard and make a curve like this. Okay, now uncheck this and check this text. Okay, now select this one and press F, make a curve something like this. Okay, now it's done. Now let's check this, so press F4. Okay, so it's done and that's all for this tutorial. I hope you like it. So I will see you in next tutorial. Till then, bye bye.